Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited. This is going to be such a great next hour or so. I know some of you are probably enjoying lunch, so make sure that you're tuning in and really paying attention. Like Taylor mentioned, the recording will be distributed. So I am so excited to introduce Arvel Craig. I have had the privilege and pleasure of hearing him speak before, and he is a voice I trust when it comes to AI, and you can't like pay attention to anything these days without hearing AI mentioned, talked about, referenced. And so I'm really excited that we have a true expert in the room to help us learn a little bit more today as marketers about how we can make the most of some of the tools available to us. And I'm gonna, without any further ado, you do not need to sit here and listen to me at all anymore. I'm gonna hand it off to Arvel and let him share all of his great knowledge and information with us. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat and we'll make sure and surface those for the group as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. I guess it's afternoon. Yeah, I'm excited to chat with you all. Hello, everyone. My name is Arvel Craig. I'm here to talk about Claude versus ChatGPT for marketers. And let me just do this. So in short, I've been in marketing for a while. I've been in chatbots and conversational AI since 2017. I wrote the AI strategy playbook last year, which was my guide to help leaders, marketers quickly understand not just ChatGPT and not just prompts about what are some other tools that you can use to apply AI in your marketing, your business. And I love to speak and write and teach about AI combined with marketing, and actually have a passion for just growth, human growth, personal growth, and how that relates to AI. So the two ways I want to talk today is I want to give you some basic trends and fundamentals that I always share, some things that I think are really important. And then I'll get into specifics on the features and kind of a demonstration, kind of share my screen and kind of pull up both models so we can kind of go there and kind of get into more details. Okay. So again, real quick, AI, as you all know, is nothing new, but this is kind of a history of AI to machine learning, to deep learning, to generative AI, which of course, most of us are not engineers. We don't worry about all the science and techie stuff, but I like to show this picture here, the fact that for the past 10 years, AI or machine learning or deep learning has been what drives pretty much social media, all of our media. We think about the word algorithm. Algorithm is like the brain. It's like the AI. It's the intelligence that chooses what you see when it comes to SEO and when it comes to social media feeds and when you're optimizing your ads. So that version of AI has been around for a long time. But of course, generative AI, which came out 2018, 19, that's what we're living in now, where we can use it ourselves, right? And so let me pause a minute and share with you 4 trends that I feel are important to us to know as we look at 2025. And again, just to kind of prepare us for what we're going to get into. And I just think it's helpful to understand. So there's 4 trends I just want to talk about briefly. And again, later on in Q&A, we can go in more into details. So this first bubble here is just the fact that ChatGPT or GPT-4 or whatever, or as we talk about ChatGPT versus Claude, there are 18 other types of AIs that are just as smart. So if you're not aware, which I assume you're not, I don't know most of them, but just the fact that there's a lot of organizations, whether it's an open source company or Amazon has one, NVIDIA has one, everybody is coming up. Alibaba has an AI. There's just tons and tons of other versions. So it's really, there's a lot happening behind the scenes, even though most of us just use ChatGPT. The second thing I think is important is that multimodal. When we think of a chatbot or ChatGPT, we're mainly typing and it's talking back to us in a text form. But the way things are going, there's going to be everything. And we know ChatGPT has images, and we probably know there's video. But the fact that this conversation that we have with AI is really fastly becoming voice, text, video. Like, I don't know if you all know, on ChatGPT, you can turn on your phone and make it like a video, and you can talk to it. Like, you can show it your screen, you can show it the world, and by video, it can talk to you back. It can understand visually everything. Likewise, you can like share your screen and talk to AI via your computer screen. And what's important to this, to me, number one, I'm doing more and more and more communicating via voice. That's just where I'm headed at. I love to communicate, I love to write, I love to type as well, but I expect within a year or two, we can do everything on our computer via voice, which is just a fascinating thing. Which I think, and I just want you to kind of think about where things are heading at really soon. And with the fact that AI can see the world, that is what's going to allow it to control your computer screen. When it comes to actually asking AI, we talk about agents, which is on my list here. Agents, everybody's talking about agents, whatever that is. But it's the fact that the multimodalness of AI isn't just words. It can visually see your computer screen, and it can understand what it's seeing like a human would, and that's going to allow it to actually click buttons and do things. It's just that's just fascinating to me. So again, so the last 2 points here, the reasoning models is just the fact that AI is getting more smart. It's not just a big brain. It's not just a big dictionary where you ask it a fact and it gives you an answer. The reasoning fact of AI is where it's not just giving you an answer quickly, it's slowing down, it's thinking like a human would think and processing it slowly. And the quality of answer it's giving is just a whole lot better than our standard ChatGPT or our standard experience. That's a big trend that's happening right now, the reasoning. And that reasoning gives way to the agents. Again, I put a question mark next to agents because the definition varies. But to me, an agent is like, it's a chat bot plus automation, plus like a tool. So it's the fact of I can chat with a chat bot, but it can also start to do the stuff for me. It can take action on my behalf. Of course, it needs training. It needs your guidance. But that, again, is a huge trend that's happening, that from Microsoft to Salesforce to HubSpot, everybody's trying to add more features that are agentic. Again, that's just nerdy talk, where the AI doesn't just talk back to you, it can do stuff for you. Okay. So that's just 4 trends I think are really important as you figure out, because when I look at ChatGPT and Claude, I'm always trying to figure out not just what can they do in words. I want them to actually do it on I want it to do it for me. And that's where things are headed at. And so when we get into the demonstration, I'm always like, how do I plug the AI into my workflow so that I don't have to do so much change management? I don't have to change the way I do things. How can I blend it into what I'm doing every day? And these capabilities, from the multimodalness, the voice, the reasoning, it's able to think a lot smarter, less hallucinations, and then the agent aspect where it actually automates or does stuff for you. That's where things are headed. Okay. So, and the last thing I'll just share, this is kind of one of my standard things that I think is important for marketers or everybody who uses AI, and it's really the part of the basis of my book, which was saying there's different types of AI tools, or there's different modes or models or ways we interact with it. The large language model, LLM, what I mentioned earlier, there's 18 versions that are super smart. ChatGPT and Claude and Google's Gemini and Twitter or X's Grok are the most popular. And I only put Grok on here is because in Twitter or X, Grok is now free. So if you've never used Grok, it's now free in Twitter. So you can, and again, the benefit of that is, you think of all the news and all the trends and things that are happening today on a minute by minute basis. The fact that we don't just go to X to find out what's new, you can kind of dig into, is this real? Is this fake news? I'm starting to really appreciate that aspect But these are the large language models, and these are what basic, when we think about AI, that's what people use. But to me, the benefit has always been, or not the benefit, but I've always tried to share that you don't just have to use ChatGPT. You can access AI via all these new niche apps like Descript and Jasper and Opus Clip, finding out tools that are built out more than just having a chat conversation. I want the AI that's built into software. And of course, we know that's pretty popular, but these are some of the niche apps. I always say if you're trying to get more benefit from AI, yes, you can learn prompting and learn about large language models, but you can also go straight to a niche app that solves the specific thing that you need in your job or in your industry that may have all the compliance and the privacy and things built into it. So there's niche apps, there's legacy apps, like the software that's been around for 10, 20 years. As we know, every piece of software is now adding AI to it. And then lastly, the no-code builders like Zapier and Make. But these no-code builders are, to me, the way we get to those agents. I've got agent.ai is one of these icons, Lindy.ai, relevance.ai are some of the popular no-code or agent-type versions of software. So most of us know Zapier, but these other ones is where you can build your own workflow and you plug into it ChatGPT or Claude as the brain, but these no-code builders, to me, help us to build it into our workflows. So, but these are 4 different ways I always say you can use AI. You can use a large language model. You can find a niche app that may be a startup. It may be really good, but sometimes there's security issues and you don't know. So your legacy apps, which is your trusted pieces of software, that might be the best way to go. And then the no-code builders, to those of you who are more, developer or you want to build stuff on your own, you can build your own solution. And I will say lastly, on this no-code builder, the fact that there's tools that you can build software. I know a marketing company, a marketing AI startup, and they're not even a startup. They've been around for maybe 10 years, but they're building more and more tools for marketers where you can just create your own piece of software. Anyway, it's fascinating to me. So that's kind of my setup. This slide here, I might skip it, but the main thing, some of my biggest principles, I would say, kind of even based on the previous slide, is that knowing to use the right tool at the right time is really, really important. Because there's so much and you can't keep up with everything, having a basic amount of literacy of just understanding what's all happening right now. You don't have to study and master everything, but I encourage people to subscribe to one newsletter and maybe listen to one podcast once a week just to stay literate as far as what is happening in the industry. And then you're going to pick one to master, one or two. I say pick one large language model like ChatGPT or Claude to master and really spend more time with, and maybe pick one no code or agent framework that you can kind of build processes and workflows, right? And I have here more. Just because it does more doesn't mean it's better. And really, do you have the time and energy and focus to master it? Does it fit your workflow? And then lastly, it's really important to apply AI to a working process, meaning if you've never done it before and you're not a video editor, you're not a designer, but you're playing with design tools. I mean, that can work, but that's just, to me, that's a tougher strategy to really get adoption. The best way you're going to get AI to flow in your workflow in your life is find something that you do all the time, that you are a master of, that you, at least for your own self, you do it all the time, you know how it works, how it should work, and then you apply AI to your working process and they can simply do the work for you and you can analyze it and you can judge it to see if it's actually performing right because you're an expert as compared to doing something you've never done before and bringing AI to something. It's just harder to get the adoption. Okay, so let's get into today's content. ChatGPT versus Claude. So again, if I look into my little survey, it seems like out of the 22 people here, we've got about 4 people who are using Claude, which is great. Which, should be some new valuable information for those of you who haven't used it or don't know much about it. So the first thing I want to do quickly is simply, what is the same? Because there's some huge differences. So real quickly, the same is the founding, well, somewhat the founding team. I don't know if you know that the people, Anthropic is the company that's over Claude. The people who started Claude, they all worked at OpenAI. And they left after 2-3 years. OpenAI was started in like 2015. I don't know if you know Sam Altman, Elon Musk was one of the founding people of OpenAI, but the people who started Claude all used to work at OpenAI. Just an interesting fact if you didn't know that. They're both basic chat bots. They're both large language models. You go to the website, you can chat with them. They work the same in that sense. If you have a cell phone, you can get a mobile app and you can type and use it, for free on your phone. If you're on your computer, you can have a desktop version of the large language model. Both ChatGPT and Claude both work on your computer. They both can integrate with Zapier. Again, if you've got Zapier integrations with your marketing stack and you've got different things, you can plug into your workflow the brain of ChatGPT or Claude to take information, to process the same way you write prompts and you write stuff. You can put that in a Zapier integration to create content, to summarize, to process things like that. And then lastly, they both have a free version and they both cost $20 a month if you want the paid version or a basic paid version. ChatGPT does have a $200 a month plan now that has some other benefits and features. I've never used that one. So that's the same. Okay. Now, what is not the same? Okay. So ChatGPT has, popped up, has web search. So if you're talking to the chatbot and you want to reference a website and type, put a .com name in the conversation, or you want to ask it about something new and relevant, and as far as today, ChatGPT can access the web, Claude doesn't. And I put a slash on search because there's a feature in ChatGPT like a search engine. You can click the search engine and just do a web search in ChatGPT. That's unique, right? ChatGPT, of course, creates images in the conversation. It has a video creator, Sora. ChatGPT, imagine like a Zapier integration. You can take audio and transcribe it to text in ChatGPT. You can take text and turn it into a voice audio. ChatGPT has, I mentioned before, live video sharing. I can video and talk to it and have a chat based upon my physical world. Yeah. ChatGPT has this thing called GPTs, which is a way to create like a private, it's like a private version of ChatGPT, or like if you were to take all your documents of your website and you can put it on ChatGPT, or you can create your own workflows and work processes, put it in a GPT, and you can share those with other people in your team, or you can put it into ChatGPT's GPT store. And again, we can go into questions if you don't know about how these things work. A few more things. ChatGPT has, I mentioned before, the reasoning models that are really good for strategy, math, and coding. Canvas is a unique feature, but in one sense, Canvas is almost really like, it's like Claude has almost a version of Canvas. But anyway, actually the things that are starred, I'm going to actually show you. I'm going to just open up ChatGPT and show you specifically. Work with apps is a unique feature where if you have the desktop app of ChatGPT, you can kind of screen share if you're on Mac Notes, you can screen share certain, it's really for developers as you're editing code. It's like an ongoing screen share where the ChatGPT has access to it. I think that's it. And then as of last week, ChatGPT has a feature that does reminders and tasks. So these are all for the most part, and it's probably more than this that ChatGPT has. And Claude, I've got like 5 things that make it unique. Number one, for most people who use it feel like it's a better creative writer. Number two, if you look at the values and the ethics of the company, Anthropic, it seems to be better, or some people feel like their values are more privacy focused or more responsible. There's some things like that people have an ethical alignment with the company, Anthropic. In Claude, there are projects, which ChatGPT does have projects, which is a way to organize things. In Claude, if you have a team, if you have a bunch of team members, a project is shareable within your organization, which is somewhat similar to like a GPT, where you have this private version of it. So a project is kind of aligned with GPTs. Artifacts, which is a fascinating feature of Claude, where you can, and I'll demonstrate this, imagine various, almost like software or websites. You can kind of wireframe or create, just visually program things, but it can be instantly shareable with a link to anybody. And that's a real unique feature that I'm going to show you. And then again, agentic computer use. Again, I've never done this. For developers, there's a way to work with Claude on your computer and type to it, and it can control your computer. So again, it's still early, or developers can do it. Not every, it's not made for regular people yet. But again, these agents, this fact of control of the computer, again, is going to be a big trend this year. That I'm certain multiple companies will have that out this year. Okay, doing good on time. So lastly, so I want to go through some demos for you. The main 4 things I want to show: the differences of the interface. I want to show differences of the writing. I want to show kind of the canvas aspect in ChatGPT and the GPTs, if you're not aware how that works. And then in Claude, I want to really highlight artifacts and projects and some distinctions there. Okay. I think that's all I have. From there, let me just close that. I'm going to look for no questions yet. Nothing here. Everything's good. Okay, good. So my list. So first, I want to go through the interface differences. Then again, and I'll just cover some basics. So again, the big thing with ChatGPT, it is the everything AI LLM chatbot. It can create images, you can send it images, it can search the web. Again, it's got video. Again, I'm not gonna. So my goal is to spend more time on Claude than ChatGPT, but you can see here again, if ChatGPT has the reasoning, it has Canvas, it has search. It's just got a lot of features. It's got the voice where you can talk to it. Actually, I want to show that. I'm trying to think anything else I want to show on this version. Is there anybody, again, everybody's used ChatGPT. If you all have the paid version, you've got Sora, which is the video creator feature of it, GPT's project. So yeah, I'm going to just, again, if you got, I'm probably just going to get through all this and we can come back with questions later. So I just wanted to give you a simple overview of it. 2 things that are important with ChatGPT: the instructions, the fact of how you interact with it. There's a setting where you can say customize ChatGPT. I just want to highlight that aspect, that because we talk about the writing differences, but the big thing is that the model writes the way you teach it to write. So my experience, number one, I'm telling ChatGPT, this is me. This is what I do. This is how I want you to talk back to me. I tell some of my beliefs. I put like a personality test. I put some of my marketing heroes. I put a lot of stuff in my ChatGPT so that it talks to me the way I want and somewhat aligned to things I care about. So I just wanted to highlight, if you're not doing that in ChatGPT, you will have a different result because you're not telling it, you're not customizing it as far as in ways that you want it to come, to talk back to you. Now, and you see in ChatGPT, my history is all on the left side. I've got a couple favorite GPTs, which I'll get into in a minute, but it's pretty sure got projects, history, and then some GPTs and some special stuff. But that's pretty much it. Whether it's a benefit or not, again, ChatGPT has all these versions. Got this version, got the new task scheduling version. It has the reasoning version, the O1 mini. Whether that's a positive or negative, it has a lot of these different models you can select from. Okay. Now, if I jump into Claude, yeah, that's the home page. It's a different it's a different feel. There are the way you change models. It just has these main two models. I guess some other ones that are older, but it's got two main models to switch through. The way it talks to me, and there's a couple different ways to set up. If I go into settings, and I can tell Claude I'm in sales and personal preferences. So there's a little bit of guidance, the way you customize it, the way it'll talk back to you, but it's not as much. Let me go back to the main page. But the one thing that's interesting is not only can you pick a model, you can pick a conversational style, which is pretty interesting. So again, it's just the way it talks back to you. I'm gonna leave that normal. So let me do a quick comparison. There's a reference that I have for today. If you go to Arvell Craig / arvellcraig.com, I have a few things here. If this is the wrong date. There's a couple of links you can look at later. This is more information on the company comparison. This is somebody's summary of large language models, like trends and what's happening. But the main thing I want to do is, here's some prompts that you can use to compare the two. So I'm just going to grab one. Let's grab, since it's the day after Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, or summarize Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech in 2 paragraphs. So I'm just going to use that as an example to compare how both of these models write. And actually, I'm going to make it 2 sentences just to, how about we make it 4 sentences in a poem? So we'll just do that. So this is ChatGPT 4. That's just their standard one. And it says, with hope he spoke of a dream so bright, where justice and freedom would end the fight, a world united, no race above, bound by equality, peace and love. Yeah, it's good. So I'm just gonna put the same thing in Claude, which again, we'll see. I don't think it'd be a big difference, but we'll just see how it gives you a different response. That's weird. Why does it look like that? Okay. So you see so again, it's a different experience. Again, not that it's it doesn't, but you see here, Claude did talk to me a little bit about how it was thinking and what it came up with. And of course, it's asking me questions. Would you like me to explain how each line connects to a specific theme of the speech? So again, it's a different experience, a little bit more engaging, whether the writing is different. From mountaintops of justice rings a voice, speaking truth of segregation's chains that bind, while children black and white make freedom's choice. to grasp a dream where all mankind shall find. Actually, don't like this one first. Either way, but that's just a quick comparison. But, and I think, and again, within this dialogue box, I can continue to have conversations to tweak it. And remember here, there was this style option where I can, and I actually uploaded things that I've written. So there's this AC or Arvell Craig conversational style. So if I hit create edit style, the way Claude talks to me, I can create a custom style or upload, an article I've written. I can upload my sample writings and it automatically comes up with a style of writing that matches whatever document or example that I give it, which is good. It's a very convenient way to always have on command different writing styles. So for you and your business, you could create multiple styles for different clients. If you're writing for your customers, if you're writing some things, you're doing press releases, you're writing stuff for companies, you're writing things for different people, this is one way in Claude to create different writing styles that could be beneficial for you. Okay. Just for as far as that feature. Likewise, the way I normally create writing styles that sound a certain way, or how do I create the AI to sound like me? I normally would use a project, and I'll compare this in both of them. And here's my main email, because the main way I use AI is writing. I've been writing email newsletters for like 15 years. And what I mainly do is I create a project here. I give it instructions on how it needs to take my conversational writing style. I use short sentences, humor, and metaphors. So I give it a simple instructions, and then I upload examples of documents that it's using to create that writing style. So this project's aspect of Claude is how I used to normally create, for example, writing that sounds like me. So and these are past projects that I've done. My daughter got in a car accident, and I turned that story into an article. So it's me understanding how I write, and I teach the AI how I want it to write based upon that. But that other version of writing style is right in the dialogue box, right in the way you use it on an everyday basis. You can have a different version: concise, explanatory, formal, authoritative, and analytical. So this is the way you can teach it to write certain ways. Okay. Now back to this in ChatGPT. One thing ChatGPT has that's unique, like Claude automatically opened up that side window. In ChatGPT, you almost have to ask it. It's called Canvas. And so you can see here, edit in Canvas. It's a similar structure, which you can, let me see if it's been buggy. That's normally there's some ways to edit. And let me show you this. I'm going to say, rewrite this. I'm going to rewrite it in Canvas. Rewrite. And so now I'm telling it to reference the Canvas tool. And within the Canvas tool, the benefit is, compared to what Claude doesn't have, there's this little editor feature here where you can change the length of a document. Just again, like kind of in a whizzy, kind of a simpler. Let me see if I said make the article, make it longer. So it's a user-friendly way to edit the writing. Adjust the length, adjust the reading level. And again, reading level, high school, college, So again, it's just a feature. It's the same things you can do via a prompt, you can do in ChatGPT with these different widgets and features. You can add a final polish, but you can also actually go in here, you can bold things, so you can always go and edit a document in a sense which is, again, this is some of the distinctions of how it works differently. Add emojis, which I have no idea why you don't want to do that, but so I just wanted to highlight the canvas feature of ChatGPT, and it's some unique features of it, and that is crazy. So, and I will remove that. And our time is still good. So again, mainly, again, just showing you the differences of how they work. And one thing I know, in the description of the talk, we talked about prompting and advanced prompting. To me, the more I use these tools, the main prompting that I use when it comes to writing is examples of my writing. Just give you, that's my one tip. The main way I get it to write in ways that sound like me, or to sound the way I want it to sound, is by uploading examples. So in ChatGPT, there are these things called GPTs, and so if I go into the Arvel email writer, which again, I have a story style writing. If I can edit it, but the main thing, it's similar to what I showed in Claude, but I've got more of a structured prompt where I tell it, here's the instruction, and then I give it the rules. I give it step by step by step by step, because I understand my process. That's why I said earlier, if you have a winning process, if you know what you do really good, then you're going to be able to get AI to replicate what you do that's really good. It's not about good. It's about what works for you. Because in the context of email writing, I have a certain style and structure, at least this version of it. I'm able to replicate, or have AI replicate, what I want, because I know the process. So anyway, so that's my formula for writing the way I want it to write. And then it's actually, I don't know why it doesn't show and I uploaded about 5 documents to give it an example. The same documents that were in Claude. I had a Claude project, email writer. I've got these documents, but they write differently. But the main thing I wanted to show you was I give it examples and I give it instructions, and it's able to write the way I want it to write. Both Claude and ChatGPT have it, but again, they have, but again, it's funny. ChatGPT has all these instructions and rules, and I use this structured prompt style with introduction, rules, and process. But I actually like Claude's writing better. When I actually want it to give me what I want, I'm more likely to use this. So one other resource I'll highlight, if you wanted to compare the two, and again, you don't have to pay for Claude, you can try it for free and compare it in your own opinion. I also list some prompt frameworks, if you're not aware of some of these. So Google Gemini came up, they have their own prompting guide, and they said the best way to prompt an AI is with these 5 steps. Give it a persona, tell it who it is, tell it what you want, give it, content as far as why is it doing it, or really it's context, and then the format, how do you want the format to look? And then Google also said a really good prompt has an average of 21 words. And I don't know if that's, I never counted, but I just want to give you these frameworks. Again, you can just go to the link later. Here's another framework. You give the AI context, you give it an action, you tell it the results that you want, and you give it examples of what success or what the outlook or the outcome looks like. And then lastly, there's this STAR framework where you give it a situation, or this is my challenge. I want you to do this, the task. And I expect that when you do this, we will have solved the challenge. This is what I expect to be the action. Oh no, that's the results. So predict the actions your task will have on the situation and then the results. So these are just three different frameworks. If you want to test them out in the way you prompt an AI, just wanted to give you that. So we've covered kind of, again, a comparison of the interfaces. Again, you can see here, there's some suggestions in Claude. You can access your Google Drive documents. You can use Claude has, projects. Likewise, ChatGPT is similar. Go back home. So again, they're kind of similar, but again, it's different. It's again, I've enjoyed Claude's writing, and the general experience has been a little bit more enjoyable. I showed you the Canvas feature inside ChatGPT. You can go here and straight go into it. That collaborative way you can edit documents, highlight, bold, change the reading style, change the length. Again, it's a dynamic way to tweak your writing. I think and then I showed you GPTs, which again, if you're not aware, there's the GPTs. There's like thousands and thousands and thousands of GPTs, meaning other people have created their own versions of ChatGPT that does specific things, like my email writer. There's lots of other ones, and if you want that feature, you can add things to this GPT store for free if you want, or you can just keep your GPTs private. But the main thing I want to highlight next is the artifacts feature in Claude. And to me, that's one of the most interesting things that AI can do. Oh, that Claude does, that ChatGPT doesn't. Can you show us examples of where you uploaded those examples?
We'll go through all the questions. Go ahead
Okay.
and yeah, you can carry on with that, and then we'll ask all the questions.
Okay, yeah. And so artifacts, can somebody in the chat or in the group put in chat, tell me like a survey or a quiz or an assessment that you do in your business. I just want to get an example, and I will kind of show you something that you can do that's pretty unique with Claude and artifacts. So if anybody can just tell me any survey that you do. I think I just saw something show up.
What do you want on your pizza for today's meeting?
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll do that. Yeah. So, and one thing that's interesting with Claude is that it's almost like in ChatGPT, you have to tell it, I want to use this model. I want you to do this, open up in Canvas, and somewhat Claude just kind of knows what to do. So I'm just going to say, create a survey. What do you want on your pizza from today's meeting? And we'll just see if it automatically creates something. So by default, it uses React, which is I guess a programming framework or whatever. So I just put that question in there, and it's going to automatically create and write the software for for the survey. Not only will it create the code, but you can see here, it has a preview option. So if I was a developer, I could edit it, maybe not. But let's see. So that's the survey. I can hit publish here at the bottom right-hand corner. I can publish this survey. And of course, I could have conversations and edit it. And like, can you at least make it, I don't know, red and brown? I don't think I changed the color. Just want to tweak it a little bit. Update the survey. Update the survey toppings. I updated the color scheme with a warmer amber background. Doesn't look different to me, but Anyway, so that didn't work, but is there other versions? No. But main thing is that you can publish it. I can publish this survey, copy the link, and now I have a live link. My name, Ravel, pepperoni, onions. I can submit it. Okay. Let's see. Again, now I can, again, if you're, and let's say I can paste it and share it. Let's see. Can you create a graph of the results from the survey and design a website around the survey? I'll create a more complete website that includes the survey and the results visualization dashboard.
So Arvel, since we are on this topic, I will interrupt you with this one question. Within Claude, is there a specific place where the results will live and you can aggregate and go back to? Like where would later on, where would you find this data later?
This conversation, just like all the other conversations, would just be in this list of past conversations. Yeah. And you can, I guess, edit and delete if you needed them. But yeah, but it's just a list of all your past conversations. It's going to be there. So something went wrong with the code. But again, like I said, since I'm not a developer, I don't do too much of this yet, but I have made some surveys that I'm looking to use. Okay, great. Now we got some color there. It tweaked it a little bit. But again, the cool thing is to me, because technically ChatGPT could create an image of this, but it wouldn't, and it could create the code, but it can't turn the code into a clickable website. That is, again, that's the thing that I think makes this unique. And I can share this with people. So now
And to confirm, is this for the paid Claude or is this for the free level of Claude?
It is.
And along the same lines, I know people were wondering too, with uploading the speaking styles, was that a part of the free or the paid? I think people are getting a little confused what's free and what's paid with Claude services.
Gotcha. The artifacts is free. So this is free. Projects, the fact that you can always upload files, but to use projects is a paid feature. But again, with any AI, again, you can always just have in your conversation string, you can always do the same thing in a conversation. If I just start a new chat, I can upload files here. You can always do this in any large language model. You can upload files and you can say, use this, actually, writing style and create an email about the AMA Phoenix upcoming webinar. I actually have an audio thing built into my computer that I can talk to it. It can be a lot quicker than me typing. So you can always do this when it comes to using AI to write like you on almost any platform. Upload one file, upload multiple files, and use that as an example. Okay. So the main kind of conclusion on here, got the results. I don't know if it's gonna, I don't think it'll show anything. But yeah, so there's more development. The main thing that I find valuable about this is anytime you find, if you Googled artifacts, or if you had artifacts, you see the bottom here, remix, you can take anybody's artifact and click on this remix and use it yourself. So the links I have on this, I think I put a link here. So if you all wanted to take this, and actually, let me show you one that's actually useful. I have so here's one. I'll put one of the people that I know. This is an AI success checklist that this lady Liz Adams created. Well, what I like about it, this page is an introduction. It's got a sliding scale. So just again, it's just, I don't know how she did it, but I just put it in the chat here. But if you wanted to use this, you can click this remix this artifact. In other words, you can take any artifact you find and bring it into your Claude account. And then you can have conversations with Claude to tweak it and make it work for you. And then the last thing I will say that on this artifacts feature, I don't know what it's going to take to finish, is that I can actually say, can you make this, I don't know the right word either, as an iframe or an embed to put this survey on my website. And it'll give you the code to take this weird thing. So you're not sending people this weird claude.site/artifacts 1BBEO. Instead of doing all that, you can actually, I don't know if it can do it while we're probably have to finish, but you can create an embeddable, yeah, it's just, there we go. There we go. And I have yet to do, but I'm probably going to create a library of artifacts on my site. That relate to my business, that relate to what I'm doing, that relate to whatever. It just to make things more interactive without being a developer. So this is an embeddable AI success checklist. Here's how you can embed it. And again, it's got bugs. That one didn't work out. But now I have this code here. So that's the whole code. I can copy and paste that and embed it on my WordPress site or whatever.
So another question that came in is, when you're starting from scratch, how long do you feel it takes for Claude and ChatGPT to start matching your voice correctly?
No, it's not a permanent matching. Good question. Again, when I want it to match my voice, I'm either going to go into a project that I created that specifically is the context of that project is about my voice. It's not, it doesn't just learn and always follow a certain way. So that's how I would do it. It's not, again, ChatGPT does have memory and it remembers my values, it remembers my goals. I have a co-CEO project here that deals with my priorities. So nothing just happens. And the AI is so smart, it doesn't take time. Things just take training. So again, even if you have a free account on either of these tools, if you start a thread and you have this thread on whatever topic and in the sidebar, and you keep returning to that thread, and you can keep going back into the same conversation, and it's a bit of a short-term memory. So that's a way, even on a free account, where it's going to keep working. You can rename it. You know, this is my main writing, you know, thread. So you can rename it. Where did it go? My main writing thread in ChatGPT. So you can just stay in that same conversation and it'll somewhat remain in that same flow of thought. Okay.
Thank you for that. Another question that came through was, when marketers are shopping for the right niche tools, what should we be paying attention to regarding, privacy and T&Cs and IPs?
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a legal question, but I mean, yeah, you should. I mean, the basics would be if you feel comfortable reading it and looking over it. The main thing is that, yeah, you don't want it to share your data. You don't want it to, and most of them, and again, that's the thing. If it's free, you're paying with your data. You don't get that choice. So first of all, you would use something that's paid, ideally. Number two, you can, you do a little bit of diligence on the company, see if they have some funding, see if they have some trusted people behind them, if they're not just a startup that's going to last 6 months to a year. Because and also if the company gets purchased, all that data gets taken to the other person. So honestly, I would run it by your legal department. To be honest with you, I couldn't imagine exactly what you're going to do. I do think you need an AI policy. I do have other stuff I talk about having an AI policy where you are transparent and open to your customers or people. If you're using AI, certain things you're open about. Like my writing is the main thing that I do. And in my emails, I have a disclaimer that says, if more than 50% of this email was written by Arvel, I sign it Arvel Plus. That's just something that I created. The signature is different. But again, because it writes like me, it's very similar. It's, I always vet it, but I do have that as a policy.
That's a great policy. Is there any other questions as we're coming to a close here for today?
Trying to think, anything else? Frameworks, resources. Oh, anything else I wanted to share? Let me see. Kind of covered that. I kind of covered that. Start with a winning or working process. Because then people used to ask, I used to sell AI call center tools for making calls, and people would ask me, can I use AI to do cold calling for me? And so again, what's your winning process? I'm like, are you already doing cold calling now? Do you understand TCPA, DNC? Do you have a DNC policy? Do you understand express written consent? Do you understand, so there's a lot of the CCPA, privacy. So, but with phone calls, if you're already doing something, then you already know stuff, and then I can show you how to use AI with it. But if you've never done it before and you try to that's where things get risky and it's hard to get it to work. So I said, start with the winning process, get it to assist you, not do it for you, but just talk to it while you're doing it, and then get it to help you out. And then eventually you can get it to automate the entire process. I think there might've been a comment. So again, when I look at the differences, if you compare the output, which one's output do you like better? Number two, which one has the features that, because again, mainly Claude has artifacts, that's its one, and its writing. ChatGPT has 1,000 other things, but which one can you actually spend the time to work on and master is the thing that's going to make a difference. The big thing is that they're both infinitely intelligent. They're both going to help you. And the biggest challenge for most of us is to just focus and to continue using it on a daily basis. Even if you think you don't need to use it, you will get better. It will get better. And it may take you 3, 4, 5 months to see tremendous progress. But when you say, oh, it doesn't write good, it doesn't write like me, it's hallucinating, a lot of that just deals with user error or just understanding how to prompt differently. I will say Claude, because it's so creative, it does tend to hallucinate more often than ChatGPT because it's creative or because it's fluid, it's not fixed, which is, again, depending on what you're writing. If I want facts, I use Perplexity as my search engine, I'll just tell you, or I use ChatGPT 01. I use different, this is back to Merchant Point, find the right tool for the right use. And to me, for $20 a month, you could probably have 2 tools. You could do, it's not, it's the right tool at the right time. Just because it does more doesn't mean it's better. And then that adoption process of have it assist you, have it augment you, and then you eventually have it automate you. And so again, that's the link. I think I didn't put the link in there, but so that again, there's all those, there's just some information on that website.
Such an awesome event today. Thank you so much for sharing so much valuable information. I feel like I could not take notes fast enough. I feel like this is definitely one of those sessions that's going to get a lot of rewatches and like
Yeah.
pause and watch and pause and see what you're doing. Those demos are so helpful, and we so appreciate you taking the time to do that with us and answer all of our questions.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure for every question that gets asked, there's 100 more, and we really appreciate you walking those through with everybody. So really appreciate it. I have just a couple of quick housekeeping notes for everybody who's still with us this afternoon. Thank you for spending your lunch hour with us. Our next event coming up will be February 11th. It will be all on multicultural marketing and reaching the Hispanic community here in Arizona. Again, that's coming up February 11th. And then we have a really exciting partnership with the B2B Marketing Exchange. They put on a really fabulous marketing conference, and this year it will be returning to the Phoenician February 24th through 26th. And I think on the next slide, we actually have a discount code to share for anyone who may want to attend that 3-day event. Check out the speakers, the vendors, potential partners in the area. You can get 25% off your attendance by being a member of AMA Phoenix, and we would encourage everybody to take advantage of that. Another share that you can be on the lookout for is we will be doing a volunteer engagement event during that conference. We'll probably be having a happy hour on site for anyone that can join us for that. Stay tuned for more details. And then the last thing that I'll share is we do always have some volunteer roles available. We are a volunteer-led organization. So if you are looking to get involved with AMA here in Arizona and want to take on some volunteer leadership roles, these are the two that we are focused on right now. But if you have a special talent or skill that you'd like to share, we would love to hear from you. So please do scan that QR code and let us know what it is that you'd like to contribute to the marketing community here in Arizona. And I think that's it. Oh no, one more QR code, folks. This is an opportunity for those that may be either looking for your next great role or need to post for open jobs within your organization. AMA has a fabulous job board that makes access to marketing talent really easy. You're gonna, again, if you're a job seeker or if you are looking for talent in your organization, this is a great place to go and look first. I always like to let people know that membership is a great way to activate on not only learning opportunities with events like this, but also with great community opportunities to engage and learn. We have some great certification opportunities if you're looking to upskill or reskill in the marketing work that you do. And then obviously all kinds of free tools and templates and frameworks to help you be successful in your day-to-day work. If you've got questions about membership, I'm happy to hang around for a couple of extra minutes to chat. If not, we'll obviously be happy to take any of those questions on our website and through the forms that we have there on the landing pages. With that, we'll ask you to let us know what you think. We think it's incredibly important to hear the impact that these events have for you so that we can continue bringing the best and brightest to our marketing community here in Arizona. If you have questions or suggestions for topics or speakers, we definitely love to hear them, but really want to know what you took away from today's experience, and if there are anything or any other areas where you feel like you need more support from us, we definitely want to hear about it. And that's that QR code that you see on the screen right there. Oh, good, thanks. I think I got through all the QR codes. Again, I will hang out for a few extra minutes if there's anybody that has any questions. A huge thank you again to Arvel for spending his afternoon with us and sharing so much valuable information. We really appreciate it. And for those of you that registered for this event through the registration link, don't forget to check your inbox for the recording and all the details post-event in case you need to go back and rewatch.